Hey guys, so I'm back with another haul video. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, and I thought about doing a haul from like the previous haul through till now, but I feel like that would have just taken way too much time, and I'm super lazy. So I'm just gonna do a haul that I've done recently within the past like month or so. So a couple of these are from Book Outlet's Black Friday sale. I have my December YA Book of the Month choices, and then I just have a couple other random ones sprinkled throughout. So a lot of these I probably don't know what they're really about fully. I have some basic ideas. Some of them I have no idea. So let's get into it. The first books I'm going to show you are my December YA Book of the Month pick. So the book that I picked is Hearts, Strings, and Other Breakable Things by Jaclyn Firkins. This is a contemporary. It seems like there's a bit of a romancy love triangle going on between a girl named Edie, who's, it sounds like from the description I read, her mother recently died and she is sent to live with her aunt and her cousins are bound and determined to help her get through her last year of school before she goes off to college with boys and all that kind of fun stuff. And she wants really no part of it. She just wants to focus on her studies and get applying to colleges. But of course there is a love triangle between her best friend and the bad boy at school. So I've been really into contemporaries lately, so I feel like this will be something right up my alley. And then I got an add-on for my December box, and that one is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. So this was a September pick. But I think I skipped September's box, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what boxes I did and what ones I did. But I've been seeing a lot of this one around. Jesse from Jesse the Reader has been talking about this and he really enjoyed it. So I figured it sounded interesting enough. I think this is a book about fake dating. Yeah, and the main character is Korean American, and of course his parents are very practical and they want him to date another Korean, and he falls in love with a white girl. And then one of their family friends has a boyfriend who's also white. So in order for them to kind of hide their relationships, they pretend to be dating each other to make their families happy, but to also be able to have their current relationship. So it sounds really good. The people that I've heard and seen that have read it have really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, next is my first ever book depository order, and this is a book that I was hesitant about because it's a adult fantasy, but I've seen so many people talk about this and rave about it, and it is like their absolute favorite like fantasy, especially by this author. And they say I think it was Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, I believe, had some fantasy racks if you wanted to get kind of sink your toes into some good fantasy, like adult fantasy, and you're not sure where to begin. Like, this series is a good one to start with. And so I got The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book of the Mistborn series, and this is the UK edition because I really loved the UK, the blue and black and white. I loved the cover of this. And actually it was cheaper on on Book Depository than it was most other places. So I decided to get at least the first book and give it a try and see how I personally feel about it. I'll leave a link to Sam's video down below in case you guys are interested in some of her recommendations, because it was kind of a starter pack to fantasy. And I've read like YA fantasy, and you know, I've read a lot of fantasy over the years, but I haven't quite delved into adult fantasy. I read the first Game of Thrones book, but it took me forever to read it, and I've kind of been hesitant ever since to step into such complex worlds and stuff like that. So but Sam said this was a good one to start with. The magical system's easy to understand, like things are a little bit easier to follow, but it's so pretty. I love this copy. So yeah, I decided to just give this one a try and see what I think. Next one was a bit of a pleasant surprise. I had to order something on Amazon, and I think it was only like a few dollars, and I was like, well, I'm not just gonna, you know, make the delivery guy come. This is how I think. I didn't want to spend, it was like a $3 item, and I was like, I don't want to just buy this and make Amazon packages $3 thing. So I decided that I would pick a book as well. And the book I picked was The Air He Breathes by Brittany C. Cherry. This is the first book of the Elements series. Now, I see a lot of people talking about The Gravity of Us, and that's like I forget who read it, whose video I watched, they read it, they absolutely loved it. But that one is the fourth in the series, and even though they are standalones, I'm one of those people that has to like start from the beginning, because I don't know why, that's just how I am. I found out when I got this book, I discovered as I was looking at it that this is a signed, personalized by the author. So it says Jenn, breathe and enjoy, and it says Brittany C. Cherry. So whoever you are, thank you so much for putting your book up for sale so that I could also enjoy it. And it also came with a little magnet as well that says, if love was a moment, this would be where it existed, which I'm guessing is a quote from the book. It's a little magnet. So I'm assuming she got this at an author signing or something like that. So thank you, Jenn, for selling your book and letting someone like me enjoy it. Next, we're going to start into some of my book outlet order. So the first book I got was Serious Moonlight by Jenn Bennet. Now, I also have her other two books, Alex Approximately and Starry Eyes, that I have not read yet. But I have this feeling that once I do read them, I'm going to really, really enjoy them, because I know Alex Approximately is a retelling of You've Got Mail, which I really, really love that movie. And for life of me, I can't figure out why I haven't picked up these books yet, because I always look at them on my shelf and I always just want to read them, but I always end up picking up something else instead. So I don't know, but I did want to get the third one as well. For what I remember about this one, it's about a kind of an introverted girl who ends up getting a night shift job at a motel and befriends the driver of the hotel's like shuttle, I guess it would be. And she's really into like mysteries and stuff like that. And then there's supposedly this reclusive writer that is like meeting people at this motel. So her and the van driver guy kind of strike up this partnership, and he helps her get out of her shell, and it just sounds really cute, like a really cute little romance. So I'm looking forward to reading this one too. Next one was a bit of, I originally bought this as a Christmas gift because I didn't realize it was actually a novel. So now I'm kind of thinking I'm going to read it. This is so bad. I want to read it first and then give it as a gift. Is that terrible? That's probably terrible. I should probably just get another copy. But that is Younger by Pamela Redmond. This is actually the television show tie-in, but this is the novel that the show is based off of. So if you guys don't know what Younger is about, which I highly recommend watching it because it's so good. If you guys don't know what Younger is about, it's about a 40-something-year-old housewife who goes through this horrible divorce and then tries to get back into the work industry. She used to work in publishing, but because of her age, now that it's like a millennial-driven industry, no one's willing to hire her because of her age, and she's been out of work for so long to raise her family. So her friend, I don't know what the book is about, but this is what the TV show is about. So she kind of moves in with her best friend in New York City, and her friend has this wild idea that she should lie about how old she actually is. So then she starts she gets fake IDs and all kinds of stuff, and when she goes to interviews now, she tells people that she is 26 instead of 40. And it's really good. The TV show is really good. This is like I said, this is the book that the show is based off of. So I'm sure there are a lot of similarities in here. I know the names are different. The names are definitely a lot different because this one says the main character's name is Alice. She does have her Maggie is still the same name though. Her artist friend is still Maggie, but the name of the main character is different. And I don't know if any other characters are, but I actually really want to read this. I also do have Marriage Vacation, which if you watch the show is the book that Charles' ex-wife writes. I think it's season 2 or 3. So I really want to read that one as well. But I'm like, I thought this was like, since it was a Showtime, I thought it was like about behind the scenes about the show and stuff like that. There are like pictures and stuff in the middle of it. So this is absolutely the TV show tie-in of it. But it was what they had on Book Outlet, so I decided to get that one. Next, we have Through the Whitewood by Jessica Leek. Jessica Leek was the author of Beyond a Darkened Shore, which I was super, super excited about reading because it's like based on Celtic mythology, and I was so gung-ho eager about when it came out. Never read it yet, but I do want to get her second book. I don't think it's not similar. I think this one is based on Russian mythology. Yeah, because it says Kiev. I think it's based on Russian folklore, but still really interested to read the first one. I'm so like, I don't know why I keep buying books when I never read the first ones. I really, really love the cover. I think it's gorgeous. And then if you watched my series I have to finish video, you'll know that this one was going to be on that list, and that is Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the third book of the Caraval trilogy. I did mention it in my series that I had to finish, that Caraval was one of them I had to finish. So I now have all 3 of them in the trilogy and can stop putting it off, even though I'm still going to put it off. I don't know why. But like I said, 2020 in that video, 2020 is going to be where it's at. I'm going to finish all these series I've been hanging on to for years now. So next one is Keep Me Safe by Maya Banks, which is, I think it's the first book of her slow burn series. I'm not sure. But this one has a little bit of a fantasy supernatural element to it, because I think the main character can sense what victims are feeling, what people are feeling, or feel what they're feeling. So that's how she kind of helps track down this billionaire's sister who's been kidnapped. So it's I haven't had much luck with thrillers in the past. I think Wired was the last one I mentioned that was kind of like, and I was like, and I DNF'd it. This one might be a little bit more interesting because there's more of a paranormal, fantastical element to it. So I don't know. We'll see. I forget who. Most of these books that I'm picking up were recommendations from other booktubers. Next one is absolutely a recommendation from Jess from Peace Love Books, because she loves her sports romances, and ever since I read the Off Campus series when she recommended it, which is a hockey romance, I've been really into like the hockey romances, and now she's really into hockey and football romances, so I decided I'd give a football romance a try. And the one that I found on Book Outlet was Intercepted by Alexa Martin. So I think this one is about a woman named Marley who has been dating a star NFL football player. I don't think he's a quarterback. But she's been dating a star NFL player for like 10 years or something, and then finally discovers that he has been cheating on her with several women, and she's done with football players, done with athletes, until she runs into an old fling from the past who happens to be a star quarterback, and he tries to convince her that not all guys are going to be like her ex. And so I heard this one, Jess really enjoyed this one, and I hold her recommendations in really high regard, because so far everything that she's read that I've read, I've really enjoyed. The next one I got is a motorcycle romance, which Jess also loves. I feel like I have this like awkward, it seems like I have this awkward obsession with Jess from Peace Love Books, but I seriously have been binging a lot of her videos lately because she's really got me into romance lately. Her and Riley from Riley Marie. They both have been giving me some really awesome recommendations, and I've been really enjoying what they've been reading. So they're pretty much the two that I really watch for romance recommendations. I'm not sure if Jess read these 2 books, but I found them on Book Outlet, and they are motorcycle romances. And the one I found on Book Outlet was Sin and Suffer by Pepper Winters, but I realized that this was actually the second book. So I had to go on Amazon and find the first book, which is Ruin and Rule. So I'm pretty sure that this one ends in like a cliffhanger. That'd be really bad for me to start this book and be like, wait, what happened? I do have a couple motorcycle romances on my TBR shelves to read, but I haven't picked any up yet. But I've kind of been itching toward getting into that mood lately. So I'm glad I have a couple that I can go to when I'm ready. Next one is an author I also have a couple of books about but have not read yet, and that is Mia Sheridan. I got her book More Than Words. I do have Archer's Voice and Most of All You. Those are the other 2 books I currently have but haven't read yet. I heard Archer's Voice is phenomenal, so honestly it's probably gonna be the first one of hers that I pick pick up when I do. But people have also really loved More Than Words, so this one was on there as well, and I decided to pick it up. But like I said, I got all of these from Book Outlet's Black Friday sale, where everything on their store was 30% off. So I got like 11 books for $35, which is really awesome. And next one I got is a Christina Lauren book, and that is My Favorite Half Night Stand. I did read Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, and I did read The Unhoneymooners, which I really, really loved. Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating was pretty good until it got to the end, and I was like, eh. But I loved The Unhoneymooners. So I decided that I was going to pick up some more of their books. I really want to get their book Roomies and their Beautiful, is it Beautiful Boss or something? I forget what, that's the one I keep seeing, but I know that's not the first one. I don't know, their Beautiful Liar series, or I can't remember what it's called. I'll research that and put it up on the screen. So but yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading more by them because they write rom-com really well, and I have moments where I am laughing at, especially The Unhoneymooners. I had moments where I was just giggling to myself, and I loved it really much. I really enjoyed their storytelling. But the last two books that I have are books that I really don't know anything about. I was literally just searching page by page of the romance category on Book Outlet when I was looking for some books to add to my TBR, and I really don't know a whole lot about these books have been about. I haven't heard of them really anywhere. So the first one is The Accidental Beauty Queen by Terry Wilson. I feel like I've heard of this one before. I feel like I saw someone mention it on one of their videos at some point along the line, but I don't remember who it was or what they thought of it. This one just sounds like a really cute rom-com as well, because I think it's about an elementary school librarian who has a twin sister who is like this famous online beauty queen, but her sister, something happens to her sister where she can't go to a, like, I don't know, it's like Miss America, but it's not Miss America. It's like a different type of beauty pageant. But something happens to her sister where her face gets like, has like this horrible reaction to something. So our main character is kind of suckered into doing a twin switch and goes on as playing her sister instead. So it sounds really fun, and I feel like it's going to be a really like cute like spring summer romance. Got the dog barking. And real quick, the final book that I have in this haul for you guys is Finding Fraser by Casey Dyer. I got this one because it was based on the Outlander series. So this sounds like something like every Outlander fan is just going to love, because it's basically about a girl named Emma who is obsessed with Jamie Fraser, who is our male protagonist in Outlander. Obsessed with him, obsessed with finding someone like him, and she goes to Scotland to find her very own James Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser, and it sounds like it's going to be super fun, little rom-com type of romance, and I'm really looking forward to this one. So that's it for this haul, you guys. If you guys have read anything on this list, let me know what your thoughts were, if I should move any up onto higher up on my TBR, maybe, because you know a lot of these are going to be sitting on my shelves for quite some time, but that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time with a new one. Bye!